I think the world is ready for disruption. I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think it's a very exciting industry. I think that it's going to grow in Africa so much. I can't see myself in another type of position. So.
Hi, my name is Marina Kuzmenko, and today we have our second conversation in Agfluencers. We are inspiring women in sustainable agriculture, and for this purpose, we have regular conversations with bright and interesting ladies who are working in agriculture and related areas. And today it's my pleasure to have very nice and interesting lady who is joining me for conversation. She is the managing director of Bosman Zaal company in South Africa in Johannesburg, and she's an expert in irrigation and greenhouses and building different constructions for horticulture. Welcome, dear Erna du Plessis. Nice to meet you at the Agfluencers. So, Erna, let's start from the early beginning. So, why agriculture? Can you tell a little bit about your decision to move into agriculture area?
Yes, I don't think it was ever a conscious decision. I grew up in a very engineering family. I did grow up on a farm, but that has nothing to do with my decision. So I studied engineering, industrial engineering, and then my first job was on agricultural development. So that's how it started. And then I did my master's in agricultural engineering part-time a bit later in my career. So yeah, and then from there it just happened, and I think the passion grew for the industry, and I can't see myself anything and anywhere else at the moment. So yes, that's how.
And do you remember your first project related to agriculture?
Yeah, so I was on the first project and the first job that I had was on a development of a big greenhouse facility in KZN in South Africa. I was as part of the engineering team then, so that was my first exposure to it. It was quite a big project. It was like 450 million rand or something. It was quite a nice project, but that's where it started. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then you understand that probably it's quite interesting, so you need to continue. And then between the period when you had your first project and then as of now you are the managing partner of Bosman Zaal and you are doing it by yourself as a leader, what period do you have between these two key stages of your life?
So I think that it's a little bit of a long story, but how we ended up here is that I did meet Bosman van Zaal, the Netherlands, through another company, and yeah, we found it suitable and better to start our own operations and our own office here in South Africa, so we can better service the local market with a local team. Yeah, and I think that leading it, I think, was also not necessarily a plan, but again, I can't see myself in another type of position. So it's nice to build something from scratch and build something that with your own vision, that that you can lead in the direction you want to. So yeah.
Erna, and also maybe you remember that exactly moment when you decide, okay, I am ready to do my own way. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the trigger which made this, that okay, today you are an employee, but tomorrow I want to be my own director. I want to be my own boss.
Yeah, so I think that my moment. I think that I've always been. I think I started in a management position basically in my second job when I was 22 or 23 years old. So it's always been a sort of probably natural or something. But I think the thing to start the own business was more of I wanted to go in a certain direction with a certain vision, and it's difficult to do it if someone else that's leading the company is not on the same page. So, I'm very lucky to have found partners that have the same vision in the Netherlands, and that supported and believed in it. So that made the startup easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was the decision, that you want to build your own vision, towards your own vision. Yes.
And this keyword vision is very important. So can you tell what is your vision of doing your agriculture technology business, and is it related to which way it's related more now? Because there are many different interesting movements in agriculture, and we know that agriculture is one of the contributor to greenhouse gases emissions. And so what is your vision in all these movements?
So I think that we focus on the horticulture, protected farming, protected and undercover farming. So anything in greenhouses, anything undercover related, basically we focus on, and we bring in technology for that. So the vision with that's just technology, but I think that the way we do it, we want to basically see successful projects in Africa and South Africa to build that industry. And as a contractor, supplier, you're actually a key part in that success. So the way that they are, I think there's a lot of development in undercover farming. There's a lot of new farms, and it if you look at the overall picture, it obviously increases efficiency and water efficiency and production efficiency. So it creates a lot of opportunity and economic opportunity and job creation for us as a country. And to be a successful link in that chain, I think, is the vision. So we focus a lot on our passion is to work with upcoming new farmers. So we do service the commercial sector, but also new commercial farmers is actually where we love doing projects, because it's quite exciting to see them become successful. And then we do bring in the Dutch. The Dutch are the leaders in horticulture, so we bring in technology from them that's suitable for the African market. So there's a lot of new innovations and smart agriculture that we then can easily bring in and implement across all the clients in our field.
Many of the farms are rain-fed in South Africa, and that's why people are keen to get better irrigation in terms of stability. So did you see the growth of interest to your business and to the solutions which you offer now?
I think where the industry was 10 years ago to where it is now is a completely different, in my opinion, a completely different position. There's I think that more and more people, like everywhere, they're just looking for more efficient ways of farming. Water consumption is obviously a big thing. So there's constantly new developments, also with support from, even if it's farmers that's getting support from corporates, for entrepreneurial development. There's a lot of things that, like, everyone believes in it, and I think are implementing it. They are, even for export markets, there's opportunities if there's control in a greenhouse and you can secure production throughout the whole year. That's where there's the potential to build into the country and build projects in the country.
Okay, and are you supporting organic farming or conventional agriculture in your solutions?
I think what makes us unique as well is that we really try and find we try and find modular solutions for the client, so that they can start with something and then build onto it, or change within the technology, change at a later stage to become more efficient. We don't necessarily focus on organic or anything else. There are a few of our clients that are organic, but so we don't really necessarily focus or distinguish between those two. There are solutions for both that we offer. But in terms of energy consumption, water consumption, I think that there are clients in South Africa that obviously the industry has been in a place and uses certain technology for the last 30 years. And then there are cases where we recommend rather to go with passive cooling or passive ventilation, things like that, that is energy saving and you know, the water saving, also maximizing your irrigation and things like that. We provide advice on that because there's also technology that's been around for many years. And I think that's where we are a little bit of a disruptor in the industry and in the market with regards to what we offer and what we recommend.
So, for example, you are advising to use more like solar energy and kind of this technical solution, or what kind of advice do you provide? Because, for example, your client has like in his head, he has very strict picture of what kind of greenhouse he wants, because probably he saw something in internet and he wants the same. You came into the game and said, we know something else. So what is your competitive advantage in comparison with other companies who are doing the same irrigation solutions?
Yeah, I think the expertise that we have internationally, I think is a big value add for our company. So as Bosman van Zaal, we do projects across from the international, from the Dutch office, we do international projects across the world and obviously in Africa as well. So I think there's a lot of knowledge within the company, and there's places where you can say, okay, this is what is achievable with this type of greenhouse, which saves you 80% of your energy costs, and you don't have to, invest rather in good irrigation, but don't go into forced ventilation or something like that. So we look at I think there's a lot of knowledge and experience and actual proof of success in other African countries that we bring to South Africa. So yeah, solar energy as well. I think we've done we've done a big solar heating for greenhouses project in South Africa. And for solar energy, we do have solutions. So it depends on where they are. So we look at locations, we look at situations, and then we design based on situation. We don't just copy paste a solution for all our clients.
Let's return a little bit about your experience as a founder, because I'll tell you a brief story. How did I found you? So I put the keywords in the search engine, South Africa Agritech. And, I found like 25 or 30 male profiles who are doing agriculture technologies. And you're the only person in Agritech who were female. So I was very interested in you and in your work, because you're actually quite unique. And surely about the irrigation technologies, it's not very female style of work. So how do you find, how is it difficult to work in definitely male dominated industry, or you found it's quite okay, they are my buddies, we work nicely? So
I don't think about it that much, and I don't feel it that much. I think that you're used to certain things, you're used to always being the only female in the room. And there's, I think that there's obviously, you have to work, my experience is that you have to work harder to get a voice, even if it's in industry or in the marketplace or in a meeting, so people, some clients, if you get to the farm, they don't know why you're there. They're not sure why you're there. So if you're going to take the notes for the meeting, or why you're there. But I think I try to not focus on that. I think that's why I don't think about it that much. I don't focus on that. I try to look at the opportunity that also comes with that. I think there's a big group of clients that would rather connect with me as well, and that I connect better with. So I think that the time in South Africa and the time in the world is, I think the world is ready for disruption in this market. I think that's why it's not so difficult. I do have it's obviously, there's some things that are difficult, but, and I think that in general, I will always fight for equality across not only gender, but for races and economic classes. So equality I will always fight for, but that it doesn't always have to be in words. I think the actions and how you build the business and how you build into the industry, I think speaks more, and it speaks louder to what you want to what you believe in. And I think that influences people more. So yeah, and I have a great team that supports and follows, and I have an amazing team and I have amazing partners. So I think that starting a business is obviously full of difficult things, but
Yes,
I
it's
think that
interesting part, by the way, firstly about your team. So, and then we will speak about difficulties. So about your team, how many hirings have you done already by yourself?
yeah, I think we started with 3. That's the team that I started with. So, and now we're 15. I tried
So
to count yesterday.
5 times more. Yeah, it's interesting. And
Yeah.
how many females do you have additionally to you?
There are 2 others, yes.
Oh, that's
2
good.
others.
At least
Yes.
still 5 times more male,
Brilliant.
but yeah, I understand. And are you involved in all the parts? I mean, you are doing technical measurements, you are keeping your eye on all the drafts, or you are just managing the team and say, okay, you go there, I will sit here and just watch. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I am on site a lot. I'm obviously involved in the sales process a lot, the design, concept designs, and designing with a Dutch team and local teams depending on the project. So there's a lot of that. So basically, I'm still everywhere. I'm still everywhere. I'm trying to. We're growing fast, and I'm trying to get people on board. I think as far as we can,
Uh-huh.
as quick as we can, that they can be trained. And yeah, but I'm still across everything, technical, but I have a good technical team that's taking care of the installations, and we get a lot of support if it's bigger projects that we don't have the capacity for. I have a lot of support from the Netherlands. So yeah, but I am involved in everything: project management, implementation, logistics, marketing, finances,
Wow.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you are hiring people, especially, I think you remember your first person, which was in your team, and it was your decision to hire this person. So, what was the key problem for you to understand, is this good fit or not good fit for you? So, because our main task of these videos is to help other females who are working in agriculture technologies and maybe in some other companies, and they're doing their own business, just to help them with some kind of advice. So maybe they will watch us and they, oh yeah, I have very similar situation. So share your experience, please, about hiring.
Yeah. I think that character, and it's something difficult to pick up of an interview, but I think character is more important than skills. I think that the questions you ask must be more with regards to a person's character. Like, what do you want to, like, how do you see yourself? How do you treat others? Like, what is your approach to certain things? Technical knowledge you can always learn, but I think the character of the company is I think that's something you can easily pick up, in my experience. And I think it's also valuable always to have someone else with you, even if it's a coach, if you're completely on your own. But even if it's some coach or someone that can also advise and look at it, and look at the person. But yeah, I think that the character is more important for us. I think that it is a difficult thing in South Africa specifically to find in this industry, because it is a small industry, to find people that has the experience and then also have the same heart and character that you want to build towards. So a lot of our people still, we all sort of learn as we go, as we go along. So
You are looking for stars who are not bright, and then you make them bright.
yeah, like that. Yes.
Yeah, I understand this. And again, continuing our conversation about difficulties. So, you are a managing partner, you are doing this job every day, and you are meeting not only like routine stuff regarding finance and legal, but what are the types of problems do you meet, and do you think that it's worth to speak about them?
Technical things are always one thing, and problems on sites are also normal problems. But I think the difficult thing of leading a company is keeping because you can get all your time can be absorbed into operations, and you have to have time to build onto the business. So you have to build on you have to build on the business and not just be in the business and work in the business. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I'm faced with to make time to look again and where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and set goals for that, and not just spend 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day to run around and be in the business. So I think that's one of the things that I feel that the lessons I'm still learning and trying to balance.
And one more question about the inspiration, because I understand that if you have this huge understanding that you are responsible for not only for your life but also for lives of your employees, and you have a big brand which you are representing. So where do you get inspiration not to give up and just keep going and be creative and positive?
Yeah, so I think the biggest inspiration is from the young farmers that we see weekly. The young farmers that are sacrificing everything to start a business and start a farm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the one person who you met like yesterday or last week? You cannot say the name, but just what he was doing and why you were inspired by him or her?
There's a female farmer that we are doing a project for now, for instance, and she just doesn't give up in terms of getting financing for a farm, and it's been years, and it's I don't even know how do people survive that long with regards to surviving and still building and still believing in what they want to do, and not giving up. I think that's the thing. So there's a lot of those farmers. We did a project recently where there was 10 agricultural entrepreneurs that we supplied infrastructure for, that was supported by a corporate, but they had to have already existing farms and farming. And I think that each one of them are so driven in terms of making a success, and they sacrifice and they lead so hard and daily. So I think that's I think that's what drives me in doing this in South Africa, is the people in the future. You're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everyone around you and their future. So I think that keeps on that keeps me going in terms of, okay, we know where we want to go, we want why we're supporting this and why we're in this industry. So yeah, I think that's what's if you look day to day, that's what I think about often.
Yeah, that's good to be inspired by someone else, and maybe also you. I understand that life is very busy and you don't have time for too much wasting of it in social media or some other channels which are popular now. But maybe there are some profiles or companies or people who are interesting in terms of following. So, do you have a list of people?
In terms of leadership, I think I follow Brene Brown, and I read her books quite a bit. I think she has a profound, refreshing way of talking about leadership and vulnerability in leadership. So I follow her on platforms and I read her books.
And also she's woman, so it's a positive moment that you understand, oh, I'm not alone here.
So I think she brings quite a different view on things. So but that's the only international on platform that I can think about now.
And probably it will be the final question. Erna, so let's imagine we have a young lady who is doing industrial engineering now, and she's choosing, I think agriculture is quite good, but maybe not so good. So what is your message to ladies who are doing STEM education and they think about the way to go to agriculture? What can you tell them as you are already here?
I think I think there's unending potential in agriculture, especially in South Africa, but probably Africa everywhere. And it's not. I think the picture. I think it's becoming more. It's becoming more attractive. Everything in agriculture is more attractive. You can work, like you can basically just do anything you want. Go work on certain farms and pack houses and in big farms and laboratories, and so or you can basically fit, if you're an engineer, you can fit into processing lines and optimizing the business, optimizing your production and logistics. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I think it's a very exciting industry. I think that it's going to grow in Africa so much that we already, we won't be able to keep up. So I think there's a big demand for skills and passion in the industry. So yeah, I think that you can do basically anything you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. This is very good. So, and I definitely want to thank you for this today's inspiration, because now we understand that this is not so scared area of agriculture technologies, because when you think about irrigation, you maybe think, oh, it's something too complicated. But if you see so smiling lady who is sitting and explaining, yeah, it's possible to work there. So, guys, join us, and we will have more talents, and our global agriculture will be better if you will have the good solutions, and they will be based on this approach of knowledge and also good expertise. So Erna, thank you so much for today's conversation, and I'm so happy that you will be now a part of our influencers, and more women will be inspired by you, and we will be very happy if on one day in future someone will write to us and say, oh, I watched interviews Erna and it changed my life. So I believe it will happen and I will let you know about this fact.
Right.
So thank you so much, and have a very nice day, Erna.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.